All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. I do want to thank you all for joining us for this first session in our MVP webinar series. We're very excited to have you all join us to learn more about the new integration between PLIC and Blueprint. Before we do so, however, I do want to take this time to thank our sponsors. Um, Excuse me. I do want to take this time to thank our sponsors, 36 Picks, Amazon Graphics, Richmond Pro Lab, Marathon Press, and Perfectly Clear for helping us in putting together this webinar, in fact, the entire series. And just a quick intro before we do dive in further into the whole integration process. My name is Anthony Averoni. I'm sure I've spoken with you, some of you before. I'm a product support specialist here at ImageQuicks. I've been here for 7 years now. I've been in the photography industry, I would say in one way or another, over 18 years. So I've seen a lot of changes within my time. And if you've all read my bio, you do see that I am stuck at home now with 3 kids and no hockey.
And my name is Kalyn Kelly. I'm joining here from the PhotolInk support team. I'm our Senior Director of Customer Enablement, excuse me. And I am super excited to go through this demonstration with you guys. As you guys probably, most of you know, I don't have kids and do not follow sports, so make sure you save all your prayers and good thoughts for Anthony and him and his kids and no sports.
Thank you, Kalyn. All right, we will be, just to quick note, we will be answering questions at the end of the webinar. So you'll see there's a Q&A section on the bottom there. Go ahead and feel free to type out your questions over there. And once we once we get to the end here, we will be sure to follow up on those. All right, so as many of you may be familiar with some of the tools that we already provide, such as Flow, PLIC.io, PLIC Match, these tools that help you streamline your workflow. Well, now we can easily take those images, take the data that you've uploaded into those tools and post those online using our e-commerce solution. You may ask yourself, all right, well, what's the benefit of doing this? Obviously, the first benefit here is, a quick access to put those images online. It's just a few clicks of the button, and those images are going from your from Flow, from PLIC into Blueprint. Obviously, the quicker your images are online, the quicker your subjects can get to them, and the quicker they can go ahead and place those orders. And lastly, well, there's other tools or other options here, other reasons, but the big reason I do want to point out is our Blueprint marketing. For our premium members, this gives you the ability to take advantage of our Blueprint marketing. With the help of our dedicated marketing team, we can target specific consumers to help you increase your online presence. This includes, sending out emails to buyers versus non-buyers, subjects with or without images, and also sending out emails to abandoned carts. And so those are all pretty exciting tools and features, and we're really excited to get this process going here. So let's see what it takes to get this accomplished.
Excellent. So as Anthony mentioned, there's so many wonderful benefits to this integration that we have plugged in now between PLIC and Blueprint. First off, what you're going to need to get started is you have to ensure that you have a Blueprint account. You have to ensure that you have a PLIC account. We do want both of those to be pulling from the same master account login that you're using inside of Blueprint. Once you have those two things, we're basically ready to get this connected. And both of those things, you can go ahead and reach out to either one of our support teams, and we'd be happy to get you guys set up with a PLIC account or a Blueprint account if you don't currently have one. Once you have those accounts, though, one of the first things you need to do to start this integration is we have to log into Blueprint, and we're going to connect our Blueprint account to PLIC, or to our PhotolInk suite of products. So we're going to go to our email up here at the top right-hand corner of Blueprint, go to Preferences, and then down to Integrations on the menu. Here it's going to prompt you to plug in your email and password for PLIC. Ensure that that's your master Blueprint account login. Once you've connected it, you will get a notification that shows that you have successfully connected to the PhotolInk suite. This will stay in here from any of your Blueprint accounts. We just need to connect it once, and then you're able to open that integration. Once you've plugged that into Blueprint, you can also go into your flow and use that same login to log into your PLIC icon here. You just click to log into PLIC. Make sure this is the same username and password you use to log in. Once we've done that, now we've actually connected Blueprint and PLIC. They're speaking to each other now. Some other key things to note that if you plan on bringing any of your orders that come through Blueprint back into Flow, whether that be prepaid orders or reorders, any of those packages that you plan on bringing back to Flow, there's some important things that you need to know to make sure that this seamlessly connects and communicates with each other. All of those things revolve around the catalog. So inside of Flow, you do have your catalog built here. You will have to build this same catalog up in Blueprint, and there's some key things to note to make sure that this connects. When you go into your add edit packages here, this package name, package map key, as well as the product name sitting here, need to match in your Blueprint account in your price sheet. So you want to ensure that it has the name exactly for package A in Blueprint, matches what we see for package A in Flow. The reference ID needs to match to this Flow map key, as well as to ensure and enable all the different features that are inside of Blueprint, like having multi-subject images in a single package. It's going to be smoothest if you also add your product names that match exactly what's inside of Flow, as well as the product reference ID. This product reference ID inside of Flow, if you do not know what the product reference ID is, you can click on the product here and you'll see that it's going to show the map number underneath it. Another way you can find the product map number, and if you're setting up an a la carte type or pick any package, you can also click on this a la carte icon on any of these packages, or these products, excuse me, and it'll pop up with a window with the default map key here. You can also change this as needed. As long as it's unique per product, you guys can use this for your package creation. So with those things, with us connecting Blueprint inside of, or Blueprint to Flow or to the PLIC world, us being aware that if packages are coming back down into Flow, we do ensure that the package name matches the package name on Blueprint. The Flow map key matches the reference ID in Blueprint, as well as the product name and product reference ID match in Blueprint to Flow. Once we have all of this connected, we're ready to kind of move forward and pull prepaid orders, push up a job for reorder, pull reorders, and then fulfill orders however needed. Now, the other part of this is we do have it connected and we have our catalogs built in both places. Now what I want to do is I actually want to push this job to Blueprint. So I've gone and used Flow. However, I'm using it internally in my studio currently. In my scenario here, I'm using it for capture. So I went and photographed my school. I have my pictures in here. I'd like to upload these pictures up to Blueprint for reorder. I'm going to go ahead and click on the PLIC icon here. Here we'll go through our typical uploading to PLIC steps that you guys are used to with whatever specific checkboxes you need for uploading your images. You can go ahead and upload those images. Something to note, while PLIC is doing this step 2 of uploading our images from Flow to PLIC, if you notice that your uploading icon up here at the top of the screen is orange, that does mean that it's still uploading, and it's going to be best if you wait to hit publish to ImageQuick until it's done uploading. However, once it does say that it's done uploading, step 3, you just click publish and it will publish your gallery live right to Blueprint. Keep in mind as well, once you've done step 1 and step 2, this job does live inside of PLIC. So you can jump into PLIC Go now to do yearbook and admin CDs, to give the school access to download those themselves or print makeup ID cards, certificates. You can go into PLIC Elements to design any service item you need, including composites and virtual groups, Again, ID cards, certificates, mug books, any type of service item you need. PLIC books, where the school and or the studio can log in and design a yearbook for the school. So all these PLIC apps are available. By just doing step 1 and step 2, that gets it up into this PLIC environment. That step 3 is really what pushes it over to Blueprint and allows us to start doing all of these online sales and making money off of these pictures after we've photographed them, besides those original package collection. I'll go ahead and let Anthony take over from here and dive in and tell you guys and explain a little bit about what you need to do with this job now that it's been pushed from Flow and it lives in Blueprint.
Perfect. Yes, thank you, Kalyn. That was excellent information. Yeah, so now that we have the job into Blueprint, we we obviously want to get it ready to post online. There are a few things we can then do now in the job itself in Blueprint to make sure we have everything set up as we want. So what we would do, we would go into the gallery, into the job, and the first thing we want to do is make sure in our settings that we go in and attach the price sheet. So we would click down to the price sheet section, once again, selecting the price sheet that we had set up that matches up with Flow if we are pulling these orders back into Flow. All right, so the next thing from there, we want to go ahead and make sure we select our cart settings. As you have your default setting, but you can have different settings in there. Once again, these cart settings are where you're going to set up your shipping, your tax, your handling, also upload a watermark. So those cart settings are the actual job settings for the gallery. Next, we want to make sure if we are uploading uploading a pre-order job, that we select our custom data. So the custom data, that's the information you would enter in if you want to collect information from those subjects for your pre-orders. So that's where we want to go ahead and make sure we attach that. And then the next step here is, if once again going back to the marketing. So if you are again a premium member and our Blueprint marketing team has created a marketing campaign for you, this is where you want to go ahead and attach that. So once you click the drop down, you will see a campaign showing in there, so you can go ahead and attach that. So for example, with this campaign, this is set up to send out 2 emails to customers and a SMS. So it's going to send out an initial email and then also a holiday email to those customers. And this is also something our next webinar will actually go into further detail. So make sure you sign up for that webinar to definitely learn a little bit more about our Blueprint marketing tool. All right, you can next thing is we want to go in and update all your other job settings. So this is everything from your schedule, such as you want to set up a retake date, you want to put your expiration date in there. You can go ahead and set those parameters there. You can also go into the welcome message, enter in your welcome message in there, and include an image. And then also for the yearbooks, if you want to have customers select yearbook images, you can go ahead and set up the options there. There are a couple of things to note here in terms of things you may not necessarily be able to do through Blueprint, whereas you may have to go back into Flow in order to update some of these parameters. What we're talking about here is like adding or removing subjects, adding or removing images from the gallery, and also assigning primary images. So what you would need to do in those cases, you would need to go back into Flow. Go ahead, make your changes, and then from there we can go in and go back to the PLIC option and go ahead and post that back up to Blueprint. All right, and then so once all that is set, now you have everything you need to go ahead and publish this job. So at this point, we would go ahead and select the inactive option there. We want to change that to active, and then we would go ahead and sync. And once that's synced, now this is online and available for customers to order. All right, and I'll toss this back over to Kalyn, who will now go over the exporting process and pulling those orders back into Flow.
Excellent. All right. So if our orders are coming back down into Flow, and keep in mind that there's lots of different workflows that we support here. So orders at this point could go straight to the lab from Blueprint, or they can be exported out and brought into Flow. If we are bringing them into Flow, what we'll need to do is we want to go to our Orders tab here. I recommend finding an order from the job that you're wanting to pull the orders for and copying this job ID. Then we're going to go straight to export. We're going to choose our location that we would like to save it. It's always going to be a multi-row export when exporting from Blueprint to Flow. That includes for prepaid orders and for reorders, always a multi-row export. We'll hit continue. Now we want to choose the date range for which we want to pull these orders down. And then this is where I paste in my job ID to ensure I'm only getting orders for this job. Now for these orders to come back down into Flow, you don't need to select anything else in this window. However, there's all these different options that you can get extra data out of Blueprint for your own personal reporting. And you can check any of these boxes and select any of these filters to get exactly what you need out of Blueprint. And we'll go ahead and export this data. It is data, so it exports pretty quickly. Once it's all done, then we can come into Flow. To import these packages, we're going to actually go to this Blueprint icon up here at the top and say that we're importing packages from Blueprint. Again, I'm just going to reiterate that these steps are the exact same if it's prepaid orders or reorders that are coming from Blueprint. We're importing it. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and browse out for our export that we just did. Now you'll notice that there's some options here for us importing in package options. When we click to add an option, basically what this allows us to do is for us to import any customer collected data we got from Blueprint. Like personalization, mom got to enter in what she would like to display for the personalization that she paid extra for in this package. This might come down as personalization. It needs to add the data it collected into the nickname field. I also at the same time want to make sure it adds a personalization package. You could also set up a similar thing like retouching. You could bring in retouching and add it to a field so you could search on those people who have it, retouch them, export them, import them in, or again, it could just be an option that applies a package. You always need to have an option name, and then you can choose to use a subject field and a map, package map, or just one of these. So as long as we have a name, we can choose to bring in any extra data. Those will show up here and display what you're importing in. A lot of the times people are using these for nickname or retouching. Some people are using these for post selections of different types. Lots of different workflows. Just remember that anything we collect off of Blueprint, we can find ways to get it back into Flow for us to produce whatever we need. Then we're going to go ahead and say import. Now it's going to go ahead and import my packages, and that was a sheet that had none. Let's grab a different one. Import. So it'll give us a notification here that lets us know how many it got errors on and how many it completed and was able to import in just fine. Now, if it did get error messages on any of the packages it was trying to import, a text box would open up and it would list who the subject is and what the package was that it was unable to read. So you can either go and correct it in the data file and re-import it, or if it's just one or two, you can go manually assign those packages. Now, reasons that you would get error messages on importing these packages is all based off of those first things that we initially talked about. You don't have the right package name, or the package description doesn't match, the package map key or reference ID doesn't match. Basically, something in our catalog from Flow to Blueprint doesn't match. You can go and correct that once you find out what that issue is. Another key thing to note that if you're doing green screen jobs, which is 100% supported in this workflow, it's very important that you use the same exact background name that Flow knows it as, that you plug into the Blueprint prey sheet. Now, with that being said, I actually highly recommend that if you're going to be pulling orders, green screen orders from Blueprint into Flow, your best bet is to just browse out to your C Program Data Flow Backgrounds folder to upload the backgrounds to Blueprint. That way you're guaranteed both applications are looking at the exact same image names, to ensure that those backgrounds come in correctly. The other part that I'll note is when I come into the capture screen now and click on order entry, you'll see that any of my packages that were imported in as online orders or blueprint orders have this green highlight to them. That indicates that it's an online order. Whereas a regular package that's assigned, you'll see has the gray tint to it. That's a great way that you guys can internally, at a quick glance, know that this came from an online order, as well as whatever you're doing to render your packages out to the lab from Flow. You'll also have different indicators where we can come in here and just look at web orders, whether we're sending these to the lab or ripping them ourselves. We have different filters to grab just those web orders to make sure that we have the correct count from there. So in short, this is our integration. There's lots of different workflows as to how to achieve what your particular goals are in your overall, what you're trying to achieve with your online ordering. We do have lots of different ways, like I mentioned. We support prepaid workflows, green screen workflows, reorder workflows, and campaigns galore. So we're happy to get you guys set up with this whole workflow if anybody has any questions on that.
Yep, that is definitely, and yeah, I definitely just want to touch base on the some of the, you know, the quick aspects of the using this. Obviously, getting the images online quicker for your subjects to go ahead and order quicker. But yeah, definitely want to toss in about the blueprint marketing. That is definitely a service that we promote and would, you know, if you are a premium member, this is definitely a service we'd like to push to you, because this is a you know, a tool that will, you know, help you bring in more money online. And yeah, once again, we'll definitely go over that in our next webinar. But before we get into all that, yeah, definitely if there are any questions, we do want to touch base on those. All right.
So again, like Anthony mentioned in the beginning, there is a Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen that you can click on and leave any questions there. That's what we're going to be looking through to answer any of your guys' questions.
Okay, and I do see a question here. What is the difference between PLIC and Flow? Kalyn, do you want to touch base on that?
I would love to, yeah. So the answer for that, the difference between PLIC and Flow, PLIC actually stands for the Photo Links Image Cloud, PLIC. That's actually, PLIC is a general term for this is our Photo Links Image Cloud. Now in PLIC, we have all kinds of different apps that do similar things that Flow does. However, they're all cloud-based apps. Whereas Flow initially was designed as just a capture program, it is a desktop application that lives on your computer and can be used to import data, print out ID cards, capture. It can even go so far as to ripping your packages out or sending orders directly to your lab. Again, PLIC does a lot of the same things, just with different apps. You might be using PLIC Match for, for production. You might be using PLIC Go for yearbook and admin exports, PLIC Elements for certificates and service items, and PLIC Books for actual yearbooks. But PLIC in general, PLIC is our Photo Links Image Cloud that has access to all of our cloud-based apps, as well as the actual direct integration into Blueprint.
Okay, perfect. All right, and I do see here, can I use my existing price sheet on one of these jobs? And yes, you can use an existing price sheet. However, you do want to make sure, once again, as we discussed, that those products, the map key, the reference, are all matching up with Flow if you are planning on pulling those orders back into Flow. Otherwise, if you are self-fulfilling or going through a lab directly through Blueprint, it really doesn't matter if those match up. You can just put that price sheet onto the gallery and then send those orders directly through to the lab.
Excellent. I also see a question in here that says, where do I make changes / updates to my subject data or images? Now with that one, we did, Anthony mentioned this earlier, but because the integration is being pushed from Flow into Blueprint, it's very important that any subject changes or updates that you need to make, again, removing subjects, adding subjects, changing their data, that you do that in either Flow or PLIC first. Because we are pushing from those apps, they quote unquote own that project now. So it's locked inside of Blueprint for changes, but their changes can always be done inside of Flow or PLIC and then pushed and reflected into Blueprint.
Yep, excellent. All right, and let's see here. All right, how do I become a premium member? Okay, so that is a question that we do actually get a lot, and that is something. Our premium membership refers to customers who bring in at least $50,000 in online sales. At that point, once you do reach that threshold, we do connect you with a customer success manager who will walk you through that process of getting you started with that premium membership. But you can always contact support if you think you do qualify for premium membership, and we can connect you with the proper channels to get you set up.
Absolutely. I do see that we have another question in here that's a little bit more specific to this specific user about cleaning up their PUD that they have in Flow. Those are going to be showing what products are in there. We can absolutely clean up that PUD and import it into Flow. There are some limitations to that, but we would love to go over that individually with you if you want to give us a call into the office on that one.
Correct. Yep. And let me see here. We still have time for a few more questions. Let's see here. You guys are the best. I like that.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see. All right. Can we talk more about the composite prints like Memory Mates, and how is that done in Flow? Do you want to touch base on how that process works?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. So the nice part about Flow, as a lot of you guys know, but Flow initially started as just a capture program, mirroring the images and data together, package entry, kind of some of those basic capture applications. Now it's grown into a lot more, as well as it has the integration to PLIC. So you can push everything you have local on your Flow machine into PLIC. And from there, once it's inside of PLIC, then you can go ahead and open up PLIC elements where you could design the composites. Flow actually does have the ability to build any single subject service item. So Flow can technically build those memory mates for you because it's a single subject photo and then their group photo. It doesn't have the ability to build composites because there's multiple people on a composite. So PLIC elements can do all the single subject and multi-subject service items. Those from there, you can download a zipped folder of JPEGs, or you can render out a PDF file to get that printed as needed, whether that means you're bringing composites back into Flow to assign them as groups, or you're printing them yourself, or you're sending them right off to the lab to get printed.
All right. Excellent. And let's see.
So I see a question here. Can we update the images in a catalog year after year? To me, that sounds like the images that are displaying on the package itself as the reference image. And absolutely, you can update those at any point in time.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Is there a way to import the catalog information into Blueprint? I'm guessing this is referring to transferring the catalog information from Flow into Blueprint, which that currently does not, we do not transfer, which is why you need to create your catalog within Flow and then also create the catalog within Blueprint. And then that, as we had mentioned with the reference ID, the map key, and the product name, that will, assign those products together.
Correct, and it is on our roadmap to have the catalogs be created automatically. However, currently right now, this workflow we just showed is the workflow you would need to build those catalogs in both locations.
Correct. Okay, and let's see what else we got here.
I do see somebody mentioned that they were having some trouble accessing the internet during the meeting. I do want to let everyone know, just so that everyone's aware, we did record this meeting and we will be posting this out everywhere. So anybody at any point in time can loop back around and rewatch this if they need to, whether for training purposes or just for yourself to be able to make sure you didn't miss anything there, as well as we'll have our links posted all over the place for you guys to sign up for our other webinars that we're going to be doing as well, in lieu of us having to postpone MVP this year.
Correct. Yep. All right, I see here. If we have Flow currently, do we need to purchase PLIC also? All right. So yeah, so you don't necessarily need to purchase PLIC to work with Flow. You know, there is actually also a way where you can, you know, export the data from Flow and upload that into Blueprint if you are looking to still do that that workflow. However, this does make it easier, and it is a better process in terms of getting those images online.
Absolutely. I also see a question here that says, can I assign the online codes from Flow? Now, by default in this integration, just like Flow does with reports and things, we are trying to use the ticket code in Flow as the online access code for Blueprint. This is the default action when uploading, is using that ticket code as the online code to access it through the Blueprint shopping cart.
Right, correct. All right, and
I think we'll just take one or two more questions here. And then anybody else who doesn't get their questions answered, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support teams. We're more than happy to answer any of these questions for you guys or help get you started in plugging in this integration to implement in your own studios.
okay, and let's see here what
So I see a couple questions here that say, how much is the PLIC account and is there a service fee for PLIC? Now for PLIC itself, because it's the PhotoLinks image cloud, when pushing from either directly from PLIC or from Flow to Blueprint, there's no extra cost there to use PLIC to push from your existing Flow license to your Blueprint license. There's nothing extra. This is just part of the integrations of our companies merging together. The other part of this is I did see that there is a service fee for the service items like yearbooks and downloads. Those different PLIC apps are add-ons that you can add into your licensing that you guys currently already have. So you can get PLIC Go licenses for those yearbook and admin exports, and you can get a PLIC Elements license added onto your current licensing to be able to do those service items. So they are extra licenses you guys can add into your existing plan.
Correct. Perfect. All right, and I see here, do I need to get all the emails from the clients? Some schools do not want to share that information. Well, yeah, if you are using our email or Blueprint marketing tool, it is based on the emails that you are able to collect from the schools. Now we do, obviously, yeah, for certain schools, you know, they don't want to give out that information. That's why we can help you in trying to set up methods to generate or collect those emails, you know, setting up like a pre-order job to collect that information. But yeah, you would need those email addresses in order for us to be able to use that marketing campaign. We also have SMS, so if you're able to get, you know, cell phone numbers, we can also send out text messages to those customers. All right, and I think that may be all the time we have for questions. So I do once again want to thank you all for joining us for this webinar. We're very excited to have you join us, and definitely do not forget to sign up for the upcoming webinars of the how to leverage digital marketing to increase online sales. This is what we're referring to with the Blueprint marketing. This one is on Wednesday, April 22nd. So definitely feel free to sign up for that if you haven't already. and also our data and infrastructure security best practices on Wednesday, May 6th. And we will be sending out emails to inform customers of these once again to get you to go ahead and sign up for those. Kalyn, do you have anything else you need to add?
Just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who attended. We look forward to seeing you guys through our next webinars over the next couple of weeks. And again, a huge shout out to our sponsors here of 36 Picks, Amadon, Marathon Press, Perfectly Clear, and Richmond Professional Lab.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, thank you again, everyone, and hope everyone has a great day. Have a happy Easter, and hope everyone stays safe out there.
Stay safe and healthy. Wash your hands.
All right,
All
everyone,
right,
have a great
thanks,
day.
guys.
Bye.